What's up, everyone? Welcome to my corner of the internet. I'm your host, Ryan Cramer, and this is Crossover Commerce, presented by PingPong Payments, the leading global payments provider helping sellers keep more of their hard-earned money. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crossover Commerce. I'm your awesome host, Ryan Cramer, and this is my show. This is my corner of the internet where I bring the best and brightest of the Amazon and e-commerce space. This is episode 135. If you missed me, I was actually gone for a week, so if you think it's been a while since we've had a live broadcast, you're right. And I appreciate you noticing that I've been gone, but we're back better than ever. We're going to be bringing awesome content today. Of course, is what we do on this show. But before we dive right into what our topic is today, this show is presented by PingPong Payments. PingPong provides over 1 million customers now, helping people cross-border payments-wise, $150 million a day with VAs, manufacturers, suppliers all over the world, help them repatriate their money back into their own pockets, and helping them now have transacted over $90 billion to date. So if you want to work with PingPong and you want to save money and put more money back to your bottom line, go ahead and sign up with a PingPong account today. Start building your brand internationally and start saving some money today. So with that being said, you want to go ahead and sign up later today for an account, go ahead and check out that link below and you'll be able to get hooked up there. Mention Crossover Commerce, of course, when you sign up and you talk to someone from there as well. That being said, we're going to talk a little bit about a specific nation that I have very high interest in. I'm located in the United States, as a lot of people and a lot of sellers are located. This is where lots of international sellers are putting their time, money, and effort into. But a lot of people have that the trouble in terms of concepts of getting their products from either China or India or wherever it might be and getting it on a boat and over to the United States in a timely fashion. So I've always wanted to know specifically what other options exist out there. What other things can I do, maybe as a seller, maybe as an entrepreneur, to see what's maybe closer, what else is possible. So here in the United States, my network of people have pointed me to Omer and his team over there at Witrek. They're talking about manufacturing and contract manufacturing in Mexico, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So with that being said, I want to dive right into it. What is it? Why does it matter? And who's it going to be applicable for? If you're listening to this, we're going to answer all those questions. Without further ado, let me bring in Omer from Witrek. Omer, thanks for hopping on Crossover Commerce Day. Hi,
Ryan. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. Yeah, you're actually in, you said Hungary. Is that what we were talking about right before you hopped on here?
Yes, right. I have many houses in many places. I used to live in the US. I live in Mexico now, and I have a house in Europe. So I'm pretty much moving around, but my base is definitely Mexico. Now I'm on vacation visiting the family in Europe.
That's amazing. Well, and that's amazing what you say, mini houses. And I get jealous when people say I have mini houses everywhere. You have built up something. Your backgrounds were pretty fascinating when I was reading through it, and we kind of touched on it in the introduction in the comment section. Actually, you've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. You've been in many different industries, but biotech and experimental marketing. So how did you get from there all the way to now helping people with manufacturers, distributors? What's kind of been that journey for you?
I think there is a silver line between what I've done in the past and where I am today. And throughout my career, I was an entrepreneur from day one. I think that throughout the last 24 years, I worked only a couple of years for other companies. I love the creation. I love the challenge. I love going out there and create something that nobody has thought about before, and compete for the clients and bring value to people around me. I think that what I realized after 20 years of career is that I get pretty bored after a few years in a certain industry. So I've been in biotech. I've been I had 4 restaurants in my life. I was leading a company that was doing experiential marketing all over the US that was sold internationally. And at some point, gets the point where the idea gets into the level of an actual product. The product is running, everything is great. And at this point, I realized that I'm losing a bit interest in it. And currently, with my current work and my current job and company, I think I've reached the point where I'm really brought everything together and find the dream career. And the reason for that is that I'm exposed to so many new ideas and so many great entrepreneurs that come with solutions for problems that are out there. And I'm getting to jump on different projects, and helping them in the process for success. So I'm working in areas anywhere from electronics to apparel, and it's just exciting to see the amazing ideas out there and to be part of it. So that's a real joy for me.
Well, that sounds like a great mindset you have in actually finding a problem, and you're trying to fix that for a lot of people. But I feel like you're living in a space where a lot of people don't understand maybe what that is, or what that solution to that problem that a lot of people are asking themselves every single day is. And it could be as simple as, hey, look at a different country, look at a different opportunity, or just a different setup in terms of sourcing or manufacturing your goods. So I guess my first question is, right when you were sending over topic ideas maybe for this talk, is contract manufacturing. It seems simple in concept, but let's kind of break it down. What is it, and who does this going to apply to when we're discussing these topics today?
I think that contract manufacturing is for an entrepreneur is to find the right partner to take the idea that he has and basically make it a reality. If we want to really simplify it. What it means on my end is definitely taking the idea, bringing the team of experts around the idea, understanding exactly what the client is looking to produce. Many times the ideas are not all well thought about, and there are things that still need improvement. So we take it from the idea phase and basically work on it, prepare it for manufacturing, for mass manufacturing, and then do the manufacturing and send it over to the client. So that's contract manufacturing, basically giving to outsourcing the manufacturing outside of your control, and giving another company that is an expert in finding the right suppliers and the right manufacturers to do the job for you and bring you even better product than what you had in your mind.
So why Mexico? There's a lot of opportunity. A lot of people tend to go to maybe like a solution or a nation like China or India, which is a really budding market. Obviously, Mexico for a lot of U.S. sellers, it's a lot closer, and there's that pro. I would think. What are kind of, I guess my question to you is, why Mexico, and why focus on that nation?
I think that the market has changed dramatically since the corona, but it started 10, 15 years ago. So Mexico was always a manufacturing country. There are huge industries of automotive, aerospace industries here. So traditionally, you saw 15 years ago already a movement towards production in Mexico, especially for the industries like I mentioned. There is a huge talent there. There is a lot. It's 130 million people country. So you can find basically anybody that you need to put in manufacturing. Now, specifically what happened in the last year and a half since Corona happened, we all know that transportation and shipment has changed dramatically. There are a lot of issues shipping from the Far East to the US. Add to that the administration, the Trump administration, that put a lot of obstacles for importing from China, and the agreement between Canada, Mexico, and the US, and you find yourself a country that is perfect for the North American market for manufacturing. The advantages of manufacturing in Mexico is not only with the time to delivery to the client. So obviously it's much faster to bring the end product to the client, but it's also reliability. I think that a lot of people are feeling very uncomfortable going to a Chinese or Indian manufacturer. There is the language barrier, the culture barrier, and the history of China of basically copying every idea that is out there. Mexico, it doesn't exist. You hardly. It's a different mentality. Mexicans understand the American mentality much more than Chinese. A lot of people speak English, so there is no issue of communication. And the proximity to the borders means that a lot of the people are actually visited the US and know Americans and knows the culture. So I think when you bring all of it together, we only talk about the price. Is there how big is the price difference between China and Mexico? And by all measurement nowadays, the prices are the same. If you take into consideration the shipment costs, the taxes, the cost of production, we are talking about very similar prices with all the advantages that I just mentioned.
Yeah, I was going to say, with all those different factors that used to be a pro in favor of sourcing from overseas, right? We had the ability to now, it's caught up where the market is. I think as recently as, a week or so ago when I last looked at numbers, you're talking about numbers for containers have either quadrupled or 4x'd. You're talking about times of, I know it doesn't sound like a joke to a lot of sellers and entrepreneurs who this is happening to, but you just get pictures of the Burbank coast of where all the containers are sitting, tens of thousands of containers are sitting on boats and they're stacked, rows deep, just waiting to be unloaded. So all this being said, there's so many factors of time, of you're not getting your goods into warehouses quicker, money, which is now kind of level playing field. And then just effort in terms of trying to figure out, like you said, who can I rely on? Who can I know for a fact that it's going to be quality product, be here in time? And, is it going to effectively change my working relationship with either current supplier or someone I'm looking for in the future? So the Mexican economy, you said it's always been there. Yeah, we're talking about automotive, bigger industries for maybe like an SMB. Who should be for different topics and conversations and categories in Amazon? What's a good option to look at Mexico? Maybe if I'm in homewares or if I'm in bigger products, like who should be looking into Mexico first and foremost to have a pretty seamless transition?
So I think that you can find a lot of industries here, from printing to electronics, woodwork, glasswork, furniture. All of them can be found in Mexico. Very few clients that approach me or potential clients that approach me got a negative answer from me. So we have a team that is actually doing a market research and pulling the right manufacturers in Mexico. And I can count on one hand the number of clients that didn't find a solution in Mexico. I think that also one thing that we left out is the time zone. Very important for a client, especially if it's a small entrepreneur, to be able to jump on a call or to be able to jump on a plane and in 2 hours to be in a meeting in the factory that produces these items, and to be able to touch and to feel. I think that really, in terms of industries, you can find almost everything. I'm not saying that everything exists here. Obviously, each country has its own specialization, but since it's such a massive country, there are regions here, and each region is specializing in different industries. So you can pretty much find everything. So yeah, I think that this is worth mentioning, that time zone is very important, and I see it a lot on my day-to-day work with the entrepreneurs that used to work with China or Indonesia or other countries that are producing. And suddenly it became much easier, and the communication and the ability to get an answer almost immediately is a game changer for them. And
absolutely, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, that is a great point that you brought up, is time zone, of you don't have to stay up either late at night. I know on the East Coast, I still have trouble just communicating to people on the West Coast, which is only 4 hours ahead of me. But in China, it's 12 hours almost entirely, if not more, ahead of you. So that is a big component of that. So when I'm going through this process and I'm new, maybe I'm working in China with a product, or maybe I'm new. Like, what am I going to notice right away if I'm going the contract manufacturing route instead of working directly with a manufacturer? Is my contract with you? Is my contract with the supplier? Who am I working with directly in that regards?
I think it's a big mistake to go directly and look for a manufacturer. There are so many manufacturers that want your money. They want to get the contract, and they will promise everything that they need to promise in order to secure the contract. And it will be very, very hard for you to actually manage it, and for you to actually make sure that the quality is there, and that they are delivering on what they promised. I think that working out of the country without a company like ours that is actually the foot on the ground, that knows the local laws, that visit the facilities on a regular basis, that is having their own quality control team and negotiate the prices for the client, I think it's a big mistake. I think that we not only bring value in terms of making the whole process easy for the client, but we are actually the project manager of it, which means that we deliver not only from time and quality point of view, but we actually bring better prices to our clients than what otherwise they would get, because they don't know the culture, they don't understand how much they can actually save. And I think it's a no-brainer for entrepreneurs, once they make the decision to manufacture outside of their country, to come to a company like ours and contract with us.
So what are the misconceptions of working with maybe a factory in China, or excuse me, not in China, like China versus Mexico? For example, I've heard maybe like slower pace of Mexico, like they don't turn out goods as quickly as exactly.
The mañana mentality. The mañana mentality. Exactly. Mañana means tomorrow in Spanish.
Right. And, like we'll get to it tomorrow, or like delay it a little bit. Like for an entrepreneur, that might be not okay. Obviously, like time is money. What is that a misconception, or is there truth to that, or what's kind of that mentality?
It's not a black and white answer. Obviously, there are manufacturers in Mexico that are amazing, and there are manufacturers that when it comes to time, they tell you one time and they deliver on a different time. There are ways to solve it. So they're not doing it because they are bad at what they are doing, many of them. They are doing it because they don't have the capability to plan a project. That's the simple truth of that. So in those kind of projects, what I've realized is that they can be great manufacturers, but they don't take into consideration all the moving parts of a project. And that's, in many cases, is the reason why it happened. And of course, for the end client, for the entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. Because if he promises clients to deliver it on time X and it arrives at time Y, then all the excuses in the world doesn't work. This is our job. So this is why we are the ones that is working with the manufacturers. We had projects that I put one of my guys in the factory on a daily basis. He was for there 1 month, making sure that the production line is going smoothly and there are no issues. And we made sure that we deliver on the time that we promised. And my company is actually, once we start a project and we sign a contract, in the contract there is the timeline. And if we don't deliver on that timeline, we pay a penalty. And we put the same contracts with our manufacturers, making sure that everybody is liable for the mistakes and the delays, and making sure that the client, at the end of the day, if he pays the money, he gets what he was promised to be delivered on.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's reassuring in terms of being able to, stay competitive, but also know that time is not going to be a burden in that case. Is there, when I'm coming day-to-day basis too, in terms of like money, a lot of our clients, especially with ping pong, like a lot of people are forced to pay in the United States dollar, which is not a good thing for a lot of sellers, which there's that disconnect in terms of the buffer. When it comes to paying out manufacturers in Mexico, is the peso accepted often, or is that preferred, or is the dollar still, what's kind of that working relationship?
So we have two legal entities, one in the US and one in Mexico, in order to make it easier for our clients. When we charge our clients, we actually charge them in Mexican peso, but they pay in dollars, in US dollars. So it makes it easier for them. They pay it to an American bank, and we take care of the rest of moving the money to Mexico and dealing with all the bureaucracy of that. So they pay in Mexican peso, but they pay it in US dollars, so they don't have the conversion fees, and it's very easy for them to work with us.
Okay. So that makes sense. And obviously, hopefully you're working with a solution like a ping pong to help with that conversion. But that being said, it's not about me. It's about your solution. So what's kind of the biggest...
We're actually the one that use the ping pong in order to move the money. So the money needs to get to the end supplier, and definitely a solution like ping pong is something that we are very much appreciative of, because of it helps us as a company to move the money around.
Right, and saves money at the bottom line. But yeah, I agree. So where's the savings coming from with working with you? Is it that financial? Like, is there a margin where you're not going back and forth with working directly with the manufacturer? Instead, you have that trusted network that you're working with. Is it the time? Is it the money? How are you able to negotiate like rates? What are the factors that people can save money that way?
So I think that we bring a lot of value to both sides. We bring a lot of value to the manufacturers, that many of them don't have an opening to the North American market. And this is for them a great opportunity to touch a much bigger market with much more money. So obviously we can negotiate the prices much better than the local clients. There is also a huge difference between manufacturing costs in the US versus Mexico, obviously because of the cost of the workforce. So it comes to that you have both our negotiations strength and the difference in the purchasing power and the workforce cost in Mexico, and you get a better price to manufacture. The money or the fees that we charge is from the end product. So our clients is actually looking at the end fee, and if they agree to it, and if this is something that they compare to other markets and it works for them, then they will work with us. I think that for them, especially those that already tried manufacturing in other countries or in the US, they realize that the cost of manufacturing is not the only cost. You have so many things that come into it that eventually create the final cost of the product. And a lot of that we save by being the one that actually responsible for the manufacturing process. So a lot of things, I'll just give you an example of a client that we had that went to a different route. I don't want to say the country. And a lot of the products went back and they were faulty. And that caused him a huge damage. And maybe the end price was a bit more cost effective than what we end up offering him. But when he received the goods from us, it was perfectly done, and there were no additional costs to him once he received it in the US. So entrepreneurs need to take into consideration that price is one thing, is only one element of the final cost for them. They need to take into consideration all the obstacles that will be on the way, the energy and the time that they will put into it. And once you take this off the table and you have somebody reliable that you can trust and do the work for you, it saves you a lot of time to actually concentrate on your real goal, which is continuing developing new ideas, reaching to new clients, expanding your market. This is where the focus of an entrepreneur should be, not in manufacturing, unless his business is manufacturing.
Right. Well, and I've always found it fascinating from my perspective that the logistics and supply chain kind of segment of being an entrepreneur, it doesn't just exist online, right? Not just for online sellers. This exists for just any sort of retail online, no matter who you are, if you're selling a good or a product, you're going to run into these issues. So my question to you is, why focus? Is the focus now going to be more on online sellers, or do you have those like relationships with like wholesalers? Like where does the business for you and contract manufacturing, does that provide more? Yeah, I was going to say, where's the focus? Does it go more towards SMBs, or does it go more toward enterprise level brands?
We are actually right now focused more on the small, medium businesses. The reason being is that we realize that there is a niche market where they don't have the expertise. The big companies, they have their own expert doing the market research and sometimes opening their own offices. A small entrepreneur doesn't have this capability. He's relying on a search he's doing online in his limited time, or a referral from a friend that has some cousin that is working in that industry. It's never too deep, this kind of market research. We are serving as an arm to those companies, basically an arm that will dedicate the time to do the market research, to do the vetting process, and to bring to the table the right partners to that project. And I think that it's revolutionary in the sense that most of the companies that are doing similar activity to us are focused more on the big players. And it's understandable. The margin, the projects are much bigger. But what we believe in is that when we take in a business, we see the potential moving forward. We don't just look at the first project or the second project. We want to grow with those clients. And we had clients that exploded in the US, and the reason being is that because they had the ability to focus on what they do best. And they are working with us now that they are bigger, and it's amazing to be part of their success. And I really think that what we bring to the table is much more than just a one-time solution. By the way, my agenda as an entrepreneur is not just helping in that way, but we have 3 companies actually, or 3 brands that are working hand in hand. So me and my partner and I, Juan Carlos, we developed 3 brands. One of them is dealing with logistics within the Mexico. It's a 3PL company. And the other is doing an HR for American companies in Mexico. So we are trying to give different solutions for those entrepreneurs. And many of our clients are actually using several of our services during their journey.
Well, I mean, so is that the goal? I guess is you're going to provide this all-in-one kind of logistical for business, kind of puzzle piece. Like if you have a hole here, we have a puzzle or a piece for you here. Kind of that bridging of those gaps for businesses. Is that kind of where these brands are going to go?
Absolutely. So our I think that what we realize, both of us, is what we love best is helping entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. It will become our motto very soon. This is what we are very passionate about. And we are looking at what are the biggest pain points of an entrepreneur. It's HR. How do I hire the right people? How do I bring the right talent? I have limited budget. How do I bring somebody that can help me take my company from here up to here? So we have a professional HR team that is hiring more cost effectively for those clients, more professionally, bring them the best talent, and we supervise them in our offices here in Mexico. So this is the first one. The second one is obviously the manufacturing that I just talked about. And the last one, many of them, they already have their market in the US. This is what they specialize in. But for the really great products, we would like to help them come into Mexico, which is a 130 million people market. It's a huge market just across the border. If they already produce in Mexico, it makes total sense to just start selling them there. It's an e-commerce usually, so it's very easy for them to get into the market and get another market that can provide them a very nice growth.
For the growth of manufacturing, do people have to worry about like the consistency of maybe like a warehouse or a supplier being there? For example, if I'm working with you and I have my products made specifically, they have all these different measurements, colors, and whatnot. Can it be easily replicated, or is there a fear of it being replicated like you would potentially in different countries where I know on your website when I'm reading through, you're like, hey, have safeguards on copyright and all these different things.
Sure.
Where's that peace of mind come from when working with a manufacturer in Mexico? Because you have to rely on, they're going to be there for a long time, but you also have to rely on the fact that no one's going to like come in there and say, you can replicate that, we can just make it in blue, or, you know, something along those lines.
I think that the answer for that is in two ways. The first one is obviously legal. Every manufacturer that takes a project with us is signing an NDA. We make sure that it's not. We simply make sure that they are reliable. After the vetting process, they sign an NDA, and we legally we make sure that they are binded to supply this protection over the IP of the client. The second is the second point is the culture of the country. Mexico, unlike China, is not, how would I say it? It's not a country of entrepreneurs in the sense that they are just, oh, there is a great idea here, let's just take it and duplicate it. They like to come to work, to do whatever they need to do, and at the end of the day, show success in the product that they create. But very rarely you meet those type of personalities that are looking to just steal your idea and take it to cheaper production and just blow the market with your genuine idea. And Mexico is, from rules and regulation, is much more regulated than China. It's much easier to hire a lawyer and fight for your rights in this country.
Mm-hmm. What is the biggest obstacle that you still have to overcome when working with any sort of Mexican, either principality or sort of, you know, supplier manufacturer? What's the biggest obstacle still to the state that you're constantly like, it's keeping you up at night, Omer? It's like, why can we figure this out? Is there one in your mind that you can?
I think that, you know, and this is more my company has to deal with it. It's a lot to do with the payment terms in Mexico. You have to really fight for the right payment terms. I think that a lot of our manufacturers, especially for the first few projects, they have a different idea of what payment terms should look like. We need to really something that is very common in the US, to get some kind of credit when you do manufacturing, is not as easy in Mexico, but this is usually our fight. So we give our clients their terms, and our fight is more, how do we subsidize and how do we work with the manufacturer to get the payment terms, and we are solving it. So typically these are the main issue that we have as a company. Other than that, it's surprisingly, once you find the right manufacturers and the right partners to do the work, it's surprisingly easy to work in Mexico, and it's a fun country. So a lot of our clients, when they come to visit for the first time, we had a really good time, and I think it's part of enjoying what you do. You know, when you work, you want to also have the time to enjoy it, and when you come to a place where you enjoy the time in that country, then it's just another plus that you don't see in other places.
So I guess my last question for you potentially would be, we went over the benefits, who this is for, who would not be a good fit for this kind of model. There's got to be somebody, they're either too big or too small, who's not a good fit to work with you or in this kind of contract manufacturing, model, if you will.
Okay. I think that the first question that the entrepreneur needs to ask himself is, what is the quantities that I want to produce? If you are producing a few hundreds and it's a product that the unit cost is very small, I wouldn't even bother looking outside of the US. It would cost you just too much money. You have to take into consideration there is logistic cost, there is different fees that you'll have to pay during the journey in order to reach to the point where you get your products home. If you are a few thousands of units and more to the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, you're definitely in the right place to work with us and work with similar companies like us. I think what you need to prepare is a good tech pack, a good CAD, where this can be taken and created. If you have prototype, it's a plus. It's not a must. We can do the prototyping in Mexico. If you have an idea that is in a phase that is about to be ready, we can definitely help set up an industrial designer to work with you on the last stages, or an industrial engineer to work with you on the last stages. We did it. We have a team of 7 engineers that are now working on a brilliant idea that is coming from the US. So this has been done. But of course, it needs to make sense business-wise to us as a company, and it needs to make sense to you as an entrepreneur to go out of the country in order to go for production. I think that's the only thing.
I was going to say, what gets you excited in this regards? Is it still that puzzle mentality of I'm trying to fit the pieces and help people bridge that gap still, or what gets you excited to get to continue on this journey?
I'm a solution guy. I love, and my partner is the same. He's like, if you talk to my partner Juan Carlos, the one sentence that comes out of his mouth regularly is, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it." And surprisingly, we always find solutions for any problems that there are, and we faced a lot of very, very difficult obstacles. We love providing solutions, and I think that when somebody comes to work with us, he really finds that we work 24/7. There are no week. If a client sends me something and it's urgent and it's on the weekend, my team will work. As they are entrepreneurs and they think about it 24/7, we do the same for them, because we care about their well-being. We want to make sure they focus on what's important for them, and the rest of it we'll find a solution for. And I'm enjoying on the personal side being part of creative team. I think that I have like two sides to me. One is very creative, and the other one is like I'm a productive person. I like things to happen, and I think that in this set I found the combination that is simply perfect for me, and I hope that I bring the value to my clients. I think they enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not the one to testify for it, but I think that they like the enthusiasm, and they like that we are we bring the solution to the table all the time.
Amazing. And where did the name Witrek come from? I'm very curious to know the the origin story of names and combinations of things, because people name it after themselves, or they have former businesses. Where did it come from?
So wit is wit, and track is like a journey.
Okay.
So it's
very simple. All right.
Yeah. And it looks very simple, but it took us weeks of very hard work and a great marketing company that helped us vet everything and then get to that name. And eventually, I think it really encapsulates everything that we try to bring to this business, which is it's a journey, and you need to be smart about this journey.
Amazing stuff. Well, thank you so much for hopping on Crossover Commerce today. I know we've linked out to your profile on LinkedIn. What's the best way to connect with businesses like yourself, or either you or to Witrek in general? What's the best way to do that?
I think email will be also a great way to get a hold of me. My email is OMER, it's Omer, at witrek.com. I think that's the best way to just shoot me an email. Let me know if you have any need. We are here to help. Otherwise, on the website, you can find more detail. It's witrek.com. Very simple. And that's it. I think it's very easy to get a hold of us. We have, again, solutions in HR, manufacturing, and 3PL in Mexico. And we are looking forward to hear from potential great entrepreneurs that are looking to find solution in Mexico.
Amazing. And we put that email address here in the banner at the bottom. Omer and his email address, omer@witrek.com. For those listening, again, those will be in the show notes. You can reach out to Omer as well. Make sure you check out the transcription and it'll be in there as well. But Omer, thank you so much for hopping on today. Just kind of like peeling back just the first layer. I know we can go a little bit deeper. There's so many nuances of what you guys are doing. I guess before you had to go, the second half, we hit August. It's August 2nd already, so we're hitting the back stretch of 2021. What if you had to forecast like what the next couple of months are going to look like in terms of what you're working on and kind of what the future holds in this kind of space of the industry? What's it look like for you?
I think right now it's super busy for us. We just signed on Friday a huge contract for 91,000 units of game card. We are about to start production for an electronics, 20,000 units. It's super busy for us right now. We are getting clients on a daily basis. Our team is working really around the clock to find and develop new leads to manufacturers. I'm blessed. I think that the corona to many created a lot of problems, but I think that in manufacturing in Mexico, it's quite the opposite. A lot of new opportunities has presented themselves in Mexico, and I'm very excited for these 6 months, for the next the next 2 quarters. It's going to look great.
Well, I'm excited for you too. And thank you so much again for taking some time. I know you're with family over there, so hopefully you're staying safe and every travel is, going to be a breeze for you, and you're coming back to Mexico soon enough. So I'm excited to continue to keep an eye out what you and your team are doing. And if you have questions, again, for Witrek or Omer, go ahead and check them out with that. Shoot them a quick email and let them know that Crossover Commerce sent you. Thanks so much, Omer, for taking the time to spend with us today. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Again, and thank you everyone who is watching and listening to Crossover Commerce. Again, this is episode 135, Contract Manufacturing. If you have questions, let us know. If you didn't get the questions that you wanted answered, go ahead and shoot us a note. You can either email myself or just shoot us a direct message on social media by following either myself or PingPong Payments on social media. We're on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Go ahead and follow us or shoot us a message on there. And then you can also follow us on YouTube, which is where all these videos for past 134 episodes, including today's, will be located as well. This is 135. We go live on these shows to bring you the best and brightest experts and the Amazon and e-commerce space. That being said, we have more content coming out your way later this week. We're going to be talking about credit, using your credit in order to travel, and then also use it to grow your business and what that looks like. So I'm excited to talk about credit. Typically has a negative stigma, but we're going to be talking about how to make it play to your advantage to grow your business. So that being said, my name is Ryan Cramer. This is my show, Crossover Commerce. Thanks for subscribing to our channel or just downloading and giving us a thumbs up or rating on all your favorite podcast channels. Again, you can do that on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you might listen to your podcast. Go ahead and do that and subscribe to our future episodes, and you can go back and listen to past ones as well. Thank you so much for hopping on Crossover Commerce. Stay safe, everyone, and we'll catch you next time on Crossover Commerce. Take care.